following announcement has been paid for by the Wrestling Epicenter.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hello, ladies. Remember me? Let me talk to you, dummies.
It's now time
It's beer time. TikTok.
It's showtime!
for the longest running wrestling talk show in history.
We are huge. It's gonna be cool.
You're where it's at.
You smell like me.
Tune in each and every week.
You better keep listening, or I'll come out of your computer
And turn it on for you.
or else I'm gonna kick your stinking teeth in.
We've been known by a few names.
The needs of the many far outweigh the needs of the few.
The Interactive Interview,
Interactive interview. Oh, yeah.
Interactive interview.
The interactive interview. Interactive interview. The interactive interview.
Interactive Wrestling Radio,
Interactive wrestling radio.
Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Interactive radio.
Interactive wrestling radio.
Interactive wrestling radio.
The Blaze,
Blaze 1260 AM. The Blaze.
The Blaze.
Blaze. The Blaze Rock.
and a lot of other names.
Weekend Weird of Wrestling. The Pile Driver. The Epa Wrestling Center.
3 Count Wrestling.
The Hours Lab.
But it's all one show, the Wrestling Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter. The Wrestling Epicenter.
The Epicenter.
Wrestling Epicenter, dude. The Wrestling Epicenter. Don't get off.
And your host from day one,
By ignorance or arrogance.
James Walsh.
Wake up, sleepyheads.
Dr. Carol House.
It all starts
What a rush. Oh, Boomer Sooner.
Thank you very much.
I got 2 words for you. Thumbs down. Breaking necks and cashing checks. Burn. I've heard a lot about you guys.
Check it out. Get out of my face. You win!
But I'm desperately out of time!
So what you gonna do when Blaze-a-mania runs wild on you?
now.
We are just days away from Ring of Honor's 19th anniversary pay-per-view, and what a better way to celebrate 19 years of Ring of Honor than to have on one of the performers who will be on the anniversary show the most powerful manager. I don't think there's any arguing that in all of Ring of Honor right now. She is the Diamond Diva, Amy Rose, as our guest this week. By the way, my name is James Walsh, and I remember back when Ring of Honor was first getting started. I was on the phone with the gentleman who at that time owned the company, not doing an interview. I was ordering a VHS tape, and we were talking about the availability of Eddie Guerrero, who was on that first show, and that gentleman invited me to go down to that show, the first event for Ring of Honor. As a fan, he would have let me in for free just because I was such a fan and could hang with him in conversations about the guys. I did not go, and given who that person was, maybe that's best for business anyway. But it was truthfully amazing to think that that was 19 years ago, in my best Rooney impression from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Here we are 19 years later, and Ring of Honor still going strong, in spite of so many ups and downs and the pandemics and things that are outside of anybody's realm of control. So proud of Ring of Honor. I hope you guys enjoy our interview to promote the pay-per-view with Amy Rose. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And of course, don't forget to check out www.wrestlingepicenter.com right now. Here we go.
This is the voice of Ring of Honor, Bobby Cruz, and you're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio.
Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio. Joining us on the Newsmaker line right now is a young lady who represents LFI from Ring of Honor, who have a big night on Friday night as Ring of Honor presents their 19th anniversary pay-per-view. I, of course, am speaking about the Diamond Diva, Amy Rose. Are you with me?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have you on. So here we are, just a few days away, literally now, just a few days away from Ring of Honor presenting their 19th anniversary pay-per-view. What are your thoughts as we head into this momentous pay-per-view on Friday night?
I'm super excited. I'm so proud to be even part of Ring of Honor's history. 19 years is huge, and I cannot wait for you guys to see what's about to happen. It's going to be an epic night.
It is going to be an epic night, and we'll talk more about the card and the changes to the card that were announced last week very soon. But let's talk a little bit about you. I always ask people this. How did you fall in love with the wild and wacky world of professional wrestling?
So for me, it was, I grew up way out of getting to go to church, and I'd watch, and I fell in love with the Hardy Boys and Lita. Ah. You broke up I hate to tell you this, but you broke up for just a second there, but I heard that you said that you fell in love with the Hardy Boys and Lita. Oh, okay, I can say it again. Sure. Sorry about that.
No,
for me, growing up in a religious household, there was a few things that would let me escape, and wrestling was one of those things. It was such an amazing thing. For me, it just captured my attention. The Hardy Boys and Lita, they were so cool, and watching SmackDown every Thursday, that's what got me into wrestling.
All right, so there's not many people in the world of wrestling that make me, I don't want to say the word afraid, but concern me. And one of those guys, I accidentally called a schmuck to his face over the phone, and he let me hear about it. And I was deserving of it. I was young and stupid, and that, of course, is Bully Ray. Not the guy to have done that to. What was it like training under Bully Ray? And I assume Devon was probably a trainer there as well. But he gets a lot of times people don't seem to sweat him as much as Bully.
No, I think people aren't as afraid of Devon, but I think they're both equally can be tough. I think if you get on Devon's bad side, he will definitely show you why he was part of that tag team. Mm-hmm. But training with them was amazing. They're veterans. They know exactly what they're talking about, and they showed me how to do things the right way. It's all about hard work, and that's exactly what you're going to learn there when you train at Team 3D Academy. I
bonded more with Devon because Devon was a big fan of Glow Women of Wrestling back in the 80s, the original. Nice. So, yeah, somehow we managed to bond over that, even though, obviously, I was a huge fan of his entire career. It was Glow that kind of made us kind of have that kinship. So, strange things.
That's pretty cool.
All right, so the road to Ring of Honor. How does the Team 3D Academy lead you to the Ring of Honor?
So I got involved with Ring of Honor around 2017. Bully Ray was working with Ring of Honor at the time, and I went to a show and started helping out. That was down in Florida, and I fell in love with it. I loved the energy of the locker room. I loved everyone that was on the roster. I loved the fans. It was just such an exciting time, and we had a final battle coming up that December, and it was in New York, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to just go and help out and see what happens. And making that move was one of the best decisions in my career because it really opened eyes to people in the office, people that were high up and in charge. They saw how interested and how devoted I was to even be there just to help out. And it started opening doors for me. It started opening opportunities.
Absolutely. And you started appearing on TV, and you were ringside with Bobby Cruz and sometimes Cary Silkin sitting there. And sometimes I could see that you were having some fun. It looked like you guys might have been trading some jokes and things like that. What was that like sitting there with those two guys? Because I've never interviewed Cary. I've interviewed Bobby a few times, but they are really fun guys.
They're so fun. Two of the funniest people you'll ever meet, and they just made every single show so much more entertaining. Sometimes it's a little stressful being at that table, but it's so fun to have them there. And I would say 100% you should have Cary on your show because he's hilarious.
Absolutely, and did such a wonderful job with Ring of Honor. Absolutely. There's nobody speaks ill of Cary Silkin. So
not at all.
Absolutely. And one of the cool things that you were a part of pretty early on in your time with Ring of Honor was their running MSG, which was just so huge for wrestling. To see anybody other than the big company, the WWE, running Madison Square Garden in those hallowed halls. What was it like to be a part of the Ring of Honor roster when you guys did the G1 Supercard?
It was incredible. It was just electric. The energy in that room was insane. And to be around that many people at once, it's kind of crazy to think about now just because of how the world is today. But it was something else. And I'm so thankful that I even got to be there. Like, again, there really has not ever been a moment in my career so far that's been as amazing as that.
Absolutely. Now, you're involved on television as the manager of, I'm going to call them LFI because I cannot say the I word. I don't know why. I just, I guess I just don't have it in me to say that word. But you're managing those guys, and of course, one of the ones you're tied to the most is Kenny King. How did you end up partnering up with Kenny?
So my partnership with Kenny, it's kind of funny. It was really a kind of an accident. But I saw him stumbling around backstage, and he asked me for some help getting him to the ring, and I said, all right, let's do this. And it just caught fire. People really enjoyed the segment, and they loved seeing us together, and the rest was history.
Very cool. Now, the pandemic changed a lot of things for wrestling, and Ring of Honor was no exception. You guys continued to try to produce content for the fans, to stay in contact with the fans, to stay in contact with the wrestlers, to see what you guys are like. And it was, without having matches, the closest thing we could have to keeping everybody involved. So what was your thoughts on the pandemic era and how Ring of Honor, and I've had Sledge on recently, and he sang the praises of how well Ring of Honor took care of the talent during the pandemic. But did you want to sing, or not sing, but say those things as well? Say what Ring of Honor treated you guys during the pandemic era.
Yeah, of course. No, the Ring of Honor took such good care of us during the pandemic, and I'm so thankful for that because, a lot of places could have just said, good luck, figure it out. But they continued to pay all their talent. They continued to have us be involved, and we made the most of it. It wasn't easy being far away from the fans and far away from your friends. And it was really hard. I think it was almost like 9 months that I had to go without even being at a show. It was really tough. But I am so glad to have Ring of Honor supporting us. And it was amazing, we made the most of it. It was really cool. I got to do a lot of fun videos for the fans. Give people a tour of my closet, which was really fun. And
I just watched
played
that
a lot
before
of
we
video
started.
games.
Yeah. I just watched that before we started the closet one. That was kind of funny.
Oh, nice.
So you mentioned video games, and that was actually going to be my next question. So I'm a father. I'm a little older. My video game time was, Nintendo and Super Nintendo. That was me. But my kids now, of course, they love the next generation systems, and I come down the stairs to them watching YouTube and Twitch and the guys playing games. I think you're missing a market. To be a female that loves video games, I think you would do huge numbers if you did that on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, I get that a lot. A lot of people have talked to me about it. Jay Lethal, someone that mentioned it to me. And it's something I've definitely been considering. I just haven't made the jump yet.
Absolutely. What's your favorite video game at the moment?
My favorite video game at the moment, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII, the remake. That's been awesome. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with Pokemon. So, any of the Pokemon games, I play those religiously pretty much. So, definitely those.
All right, so Ring of Honor is back in action, and they started out doing it, maybe getting their feet wet with the Pure Tournament, and that was great. And now you guys are just doing shows like you would have if there was crowds there, and it's so well done. It is sports-based professional wrestling presented as a legitimate sport. It's just such a different approach to what everybody else is doing out there, and it's a breath of fresh air. Did you want to talk about what the Ring of Honor product is like right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, it's been incredible. I never thought that we'd be able to pull off performing in front of no audience and still captivate an audience and still bring attention to Ring of Honor. But I honestly think that we've done such a good job with reopening and rebranding And a big part of that really goes to Zane Decker, our director. He's the one behind the scenes helping us film, a lot of the backstage promos and all the profile pieces that you guys see leading up to the matches. I think without his vision, it would be totally different products. So I'm super thankful that he's part of our team.
Absolutely. One of the things that has been missing, though, and if I could be critical, I will be, is there hasn't really been much of a Women of Honor division since the whole pandemic happened. It's been pretty much put on hold for the time being. As somebody who's now, I introduced you as a manager, but I know you're trained to wrestle. Are you looking forward to the Women of Honor division reopening and taking center stage again?
I definitely am. I think it's time. It's like you said, that's probably the one thing we've been missing, and I know that that's what the fans are looking for. So many times I get comments about it, people commenting in our Facebook group for the experience, letting us know that they want women's wrestling, and I just want everyone to know, your voices are being heard. Stay patient because some things are coming.
Now, I know you've wrestled a little bit, but are you looking to be more involved when it does come back in the ring?
I think there's always room for that. I think right now I'm enjoying what I'm doing as a manager. I'm making history. Like you said, working with LFI. I'm the first manager in Ring of Honor history to manage our world, television, and tag team champions simultaneously. So right now, that's not my focus. But I think, who knows? I think I really enjoy gold. I like championships, so it could be in my future. Beautiful, beautiful. You mentioned LFI. I joked about it earlier. Could you say it as it should be said to see if I can get my head around it? Definitely. If you want to give it a shout, it's La Facción Ingobernable. Ingobernable. I can't quite get the I one going, but that's okay. A lot of people have a problem with that one. Ian Riccaboni rolls it out so quickly, and it's like, I just can't say it. That's amazing. It's a lot of practice, I'll tell you that. All right. So we saw a change to the card happening this Friday night when Dragon Lee was reported to be injured, undergoing surgery. Do you have any information on how Dragon Lee is doing currently? Yeah, I know he's doing well, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery. We'll see him back soon. Things happen, but I couldn't think of a better replacement than two-time former television champion Kenny King. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be doing double duty on the pay-per-view as well. He sure is, and if anyone can handle it, it's him. I know that we're going to leave Ring of Honor 19th anniversary on top. Very good, very good. I have noticed, though, that Kenny can sometimes be a little sharp with you. Have you ever considered, what it would be like maybe looking as a babyface, maybe not being as part of LFI and being a babyface down the road? I think that's normal in any kind of team. There's always going to be disagreements, and sometimes our guys can lose a little bit of focus, but that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make sure that we stay focused. And we walk out of 19th anniversary champions, and we continue to make Ring of Honor our empire. So right now, I don't see any kind of straying. I would love to stay with La Facción Ingobernable, and like I said, continue to dominate. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Well, I always ask folks from Impact Wrestling this, and I've asked Mike Bennett this, but is it difficult to put on a pay-per-view, specifically a pay-per-view, which is live? There is no edits. It's live, and you guys are doing it as it happens without that live crowd. Is it more difficult, more demanding to do it live like that? I think, for everybody it's different. Personally, I feel the same energy out there, whether there's a crowd or not, because I'm just so invested in the match. I'm so excited about what's happening in there. And I'm so passionate because I know no matter what, those people, they may not physically be in the building, but they're watching at home and they're seeing everything unravel. So we all give it 110%. All right, just a couple more questions, then I'll let you go. But let's talk a little bit about the state of wrestling. I've heard you say in the past that when you started to
try out for Ring of Honor, as it were, to try to see if there was interest there. They were the number 2 company, and you can argue that maybe they still are, but obviously another company has come up and taken a big role as well on Wednesday nights, the one night that we're recording this. What's your thoughts on the world of wrestling as we have it now, with so many options? WWE obviously at the top, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, even New Japan and MLW, all these companies all having legitimate ways to watch them in the United States these days.
I mean, I think it's amazing. If you would have told me a couple years ago that there'd be so many options, even as a fan, I wouldn't believe it, because as a fan, there's just so many different avenues and so many different styles. You may not like one, but you definitely will find something. And that's what I kind of like about all of the products being different. There's something for everybody. What I also really think is amazing as a talent and someone who works in wrestling is the opportunities that are out there. There's so many new jobs. Before, it was like really slim pickings. Everyone was clawing and fighting, and like opportunities were hard to come by because, like you said, there was only so many companies. So I think it's been great for everybody.
Absolutely. And I guess as we are starting to see things open up more and more, and we're maybe inching closer to wrestling with the crowd again, is that something you're looking forward to? And how long do you think it'll be before Ring of Honor's back touring and you guys get to experience all the wonders of being on the road again?
100%. I absolutely miss the Honor Nation. I miss having the crowd yelling at you when you come out. I miss just feeling everyone. I can't wait for that first "This is awesome" chant. Like, there's nothing like performing in front of a live crowd. And personally, I love to travel. So it's been difficult not getting to travel as much this year. I cannot wait to visit some new cities and meet a lot of new fans. I'm super excited. I would hope that, you know, if things continue to go well, the more people that get vaccinated and whatever happens, you know, I'm hoping for summer. I'm hoping for a fun summer where we can tour and travel all over.
I'm looking forward to it too. I'm a big music fan. I'm a big wrestling fan, and I'm going to be very curious to see what the numbers look like when people are starting to do shows again, and how many people that didn't maybe spend their money over the past couple of years are now going to come out that maybe wouldn't have come out before, and if the numbers are more than they were before. It's going to be very interesting from a nerd standpoint to look at the analytics of it all once the world is turning once again.
Definitely.
All right, so Ring of Honor, Friday night, 19th anniversary pay-per-view. And here's a silly question for you. I wrote this down when I was kind of starting out, and I scrapped it. I'm going to say it. There is another Rose, or at least there was in Ring of Honor. That's Jenny Rose.
Oh, yeah.
You guys should have done a sister gimmick.
Hey, you know, people have mentioned that to me before, but I would think it'd be more interesting if we battled for the name.
That would be cool. That's a good idea, too.
Loser leaves the last name. Yeah. I think that could be a lot of fun.
There you go. All right. Well, I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to Friday night. I thank you for taking the time to do this with me. Before I do let you go, do you mind if I ask for one little favor from you?
Yeah, for sure.
You probably already know what it is. Do you mind if I ask for a station ID? Just saying this is Amy Rose, and you're listening to the Wrestling Epicenter.
This is Amy Rose, and you are listening to the Wrestling Epicenter.
The preceding announcement was paid for by the Wrestling Epicenter.
Time to listen, and if you like what you heard, I'm glad. If you didn't like what you heard, well, go fuck yourself.
Most people done hung up on me.
We had a lovely conversation.
What a show.
Oh, mercy, Daddy.
On your radio dial. Don't hang up. Bye-bye.